Hello everyone, and we are excited to come to you today to talk about course selection for next year, whether you are going to be a senior, a junior, or a sophomore at Henry County High School. This video is being made for you so that you will know everything that you need to know going into course selection process for next year. Most of you will know me, but if you're a rising 10th grader, you may not. My name is Dr. Webb, and I'm the principal here at Henry County High School. Ms. McCord, who you'll see in a few minutes, is assistant principal at Henry County High School, will actually be the principal at Grove next year. And so the two of us will be talking to you today about the things that you need to know going into next year. This is our current administrative team, so if you have questions as you are choosing your courses, don't hesitate to let any of us know. Also, if you happen to be a parent watching this video, the thing that I would say is make sure that you are receiving communication from us. There are several ways that we try to keep you informed of what's going on. The first way is parent email. So if you're a 9th grade parent right now and you have been receiving Mr. Mason's emails from Grove, he will roll that list up to me next year and we'll continue to send those emails. If for some reason you're not on the email list, regardless of your child's age, and you would like to be on there, please let us know. We will be glad to add you. If you ever go for a period of time without getting an email from us, there is probably a problem of some kind. So reach out to us and we can always check that. But our counselors send emails here regularly. I will send emails regularly, and so you definitely want to be on that email list. Also, we have a very active Facebook page. Our Facebook page, you'll see it here, is Henry County High School Paris, Tennessee. That is our official site. If you're looking at any other site, there's actually Henry County High School in Georgia that sometimes gets confused with us, and so you want to make sure you're following the correct Facebook page. And then we also do have a website that you can follow as well. Now, the first thing I want to mention to you is about the course catalog. Each year we update the course catalog. So this is a copy. This is actually one from last year. I don't have the new one in my hand right now, but we will have that on our website. We will also have that. Every single teacher will have a copy of that. And the course catalog is the place that you can look to find all kinds of things. If you're wondering, how do I graduate with distinction? How do I graduate with honors? How do I qualify to be in the National Honor Society? What kinds of credits do I have to have for graduation? All of that information is in this book. Then additionally, every single class that we offer at Grove, Henry County Virtual Academy, or Henry County High School is listed in here. So if you were to come to me and say, hey, Dr. Webb, I'm interested in taking sociology. What is sociology? Well, I can probably tell you a little bit about sociology, but I'm probably going to refer to this catalog, and I would look it up and read what it says about sociology because it gives a good course description of that. It also has in here if there's a prerequisite for a class and what school the class is offered at. So the course catalog is a great resource. Again, it's on our school website. Your homeroom teachers have them. It lists everything you need to know about courses, and we do update it each year. I will tell you, we don't give a printed copy to everyone, but if you want one at any time, it's not a problem for us to do that. So just let us know. Swing by the counseling office and they can get you one without a problem. This chart here is in the course catalog. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we'll talk about these as we go through things today, but this is the list of the credits that you have to have for high school graduation. From there, I want to talk a little bit about the course selection card. So if you're a student, if you're going to be a senior, your course selection card is going to be pink. If you are going to be a junior, your course selection card will be yellow. And if you're going to be a sophomore, your course selection card will be on a pastel green color of paper. So I want to point out a few things on this. First of all, I want to mention that you need to only use pencil when you're working on this card. Sometimes students will use a pen and they circle something and then they realize they circled the wrong thing, and then it just becomes very messy and hard for us to see what's going on. So you need to use pencil only. So these are the directions that are just right here, and it tells us print student name. Please print because we need to be able to read it. Also, go ahead and put your full name there because you may go by a nickname, you may go by your middle name, so print your full name. We ask you to put your cell number there. The reason that we do that is because if it's summertime and we're working on your schedule and we have a question, that's usually the best way to get a hold of you, and so please put that there. You will also circle which grade you're registering for. So if you are going to be a 10th grader next year, you circle the 10th. If you're going to be a 12th grader, circle the 12th. And then it just tells you consult the course catalog for additional information, use pencil only, circle 9 credits, and list 2 alternates. So that is a little bit different. For our older students, in the past you would have heard us say circle 8 credits. This year you're going to be circling 9 credits. The reason is, I'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but we are adding a what we call a skinny block. So that will be a shorter class time, but it will run all year long. So I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but you will be circling 9 credits. The last thing to note, on the very far right of your page, there are 2 asterisks. Those are little stars, and that's hard for me to say apparently. That means that that is an all-year class that is worth 2 credits. So when you circle those classes, for instance, band or football or basketball, if you circle one of those, then you count that 2 times toward your 9 credits. Okay, now before we get into that, I do want to talk about a few things that you want to keep in mind as you're choosing your courses. First is Ready Graduate. We want every single student at Henry County High School to graduate as a Ready Graduate. There are 4 ways to do that, and those are found at the very bottom of your paper. So with that, you can take some different things. So the first is, I want to explain what an EPSO is. You will hear us say EPSO or EPSO. That stands for Early Post-Secondary Opportunity. That's basically you're taking college classes while you're in high school. And we'll talk about those a little bit more later. But there are 4 ways to be a Ready Graduate, and again, it's at the bottom of your paper. And it tells me the first way is to have a 21 on my ACT. If I get a 21 composite on my ACT, boom, I'm done. I have my Ready Graduate status done. Then the next way is I have 4 EPSOs, and you only have to do one of these. So if I have a 21 on my ACT, I don't have to worry about anything else. We'd love for you to do other things, but you don't have to be a Ready Grad. 4 EPSOs, that means I take 4 classes that are early post-secondary opportunities. And again, I'm going to talk about those in a few minutes. The other way is 2 EPSOs and an industry certification. Some of you will take classes where you get to earn industry certification. That happens in our in our industrial maintenance, that happens in our construction. You might take OSHA certification. That happens in our agriculture classes. So there are lots of industry certifications that we offer on campus. Also, the last way is to have 2 EPSOs and an ASVAB score of 31. All of our juniors take the ASVAB, and so if you are going to go into senior year, you should know that score. If you're not sure of it, you can ask someone. You can ask the counseling office or an administrator, and we can check that. But if you have an ASVAB score of 31 or higher, and you have 2 EPSOs, that also allows you to be a Ready Graduate. So I told you I was going to talk about EPSOs a little bit. So again, that stands for Early Post-Secondary Opportunity. So when we think of high school, that's secondary school. Post-secondary means that's after high school. And early means we're getting to take something that's normally for after high school, we're getting to take it early. So that's what that means. So how do you earn an EPSO? There are multiple ways to do that. First of all, you can take a class through Dyersburg State Community College. We have currently hundreds of sections of dual enrollment through Dyersburg State being taken on our campus. That's done through many different ways, but we have classes in U.S. history, college algebra, statistics, English at the senior level, sociology, psychology, music appreciation, all kinds of dual enrollment classes that we are able to offer through Dyersburg State. So you actually are earning high school credit at the same time you're earning college credit, and so that's why it's called dual enrollment. Jackson State is the college that we used prior to this school year, so there could be a few students that have some sections from that, but most of you at this point have been taking Dyersburg State. There's also the Tennessee College of Applied Technology that's just across the street, and we offer tons of offerings through them, which are also considered dual enrollment. And on occasion, we might have a student who really wants to take a certain class that is not offered through Dyersburg State or TCAT. And if that's the case, all you have to do is let us know, and we'll be glad to check that out and see if we can make that happen for you. So dual enrollment classes are EPSOs. Also, AP classes are EPSOs, and I'll talk a little bit more thoroughly about AP classes here in just a minute. And then CLEP test. And if you are interested in CLEP test, that's something you can always talk to us about. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, I want to talk a little bit more in depth about dual enrollment. So if you are going to be taking a class for dual enrollment for either Dyersburg State or TCAT, there's some things that you need to know. First of all, an application is required, and there will be registration meetings soon. We will offer those. Parents, we're going to be communicating that out through the parent email. Students, we will communicate that through announcements. That will also be on your Google Classroom. And just as a note, it is super duper important for you all to pay attention to your Google Classrooms for your grade. So we have a class of 25, a class of 26, and we'll have a class of 27 as well. But it's super important that you pay attention to those because we post important information there very regularly. Dual enrollment at Dyersburg State or TCAT, we currently offer over 15 courses from Dyersburg State and 10 programs through TCAT. There's a grant to pay for your tuition, so that's the nice thing. You can take these college classes while you're in high school, and the cost of those is paid for typically. There are some caveats to that, and so that's why I'll talk about, we will have a meeting and parents and student will need to come to that so you fully understand that. But we want students taking these classes and we don't want money to be a factor. You are responsible for the book and materials costs, but again, we don't want you not taking a class because of money. So if that's a concern, talk to us about that. The TSAT grant usually pays for 2 classes per semester. If you do take over 2 classes a semester, then you would be responsible for those costs. You must qualify for Dyersburg State classes with your sub-scores listed on your course selection form, and so just be aware of that. And you do have to maintain a minimum grade point average for both schools, so keep that in mind. If you have not taken the ACT or you do not meet the sub-scores and you feel you can handle the content of the class, if you'll talk to a school counselor, they will look at that with you a little bit more in depth. TCAT, you have to be able to fit 2 classes per semester. So you would either take those first and second block in the morning, either the fall or the spring, sometimes both, or you take 2 classes in the afternoon, third and fourth blocks, fall or spring, or sometimes both. And there are new TCAT information videos that they have just gotten to us recently. Those will be on our website. So if you are interested in the TCAT program and you don't know a lot about it, it'd be a great resource for you to visit and check those out. Now, AP classes. AP is also considered an EPSO, one of those early post-secondary opportunities. And AP stands for Advanced Placement. That is a national program. So it's a program that students all across the nation are taking these classes. There is a very rigorous course standards involved with that. There are certain textbooks that have to be used for that, but it is a national course taught by our teachers. We currently offer 11 AP courses. The cost for the class is nothing, so there's nothing for the class. Enrollment in the AP class requires that you take the AP test. So the AP exams are given in May each year. So if you take an AP test or an AP class, when you sign up, you're committing to, you will take that AP test at the end. The cost for the test is approximately $96, but we don't want you to keep that. Just like those dual enrollment classes, if you're concerned about money, don't let it be a concern. Just come talk to us privately and we will work something out for that. College credit for AP classes is determined by the university. So for instance, sometimes students will say, hey, I'm taking AP English. Am I going to get college credit for that? And my answer is going to be, it depends. If you're going to UT Martin, they may say, hey, a score of 3, you get a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. They may say a score of 3 allows you to get college credit. But if you go to Vanderbilt, they may say no, a score of 5 is needed. So it depends on what school you're going to go to. So you want to make sure you talk to those universities so you have an idea of what would be allowed for college credit. And if you're confused, sometimes students will say, should I take dual enrollment or should I take AP? If you ask me that, my answer is going to be, it depends. So it depends on what you're thinking after high school. If you're going to go to a state university, I'm probably going to say dual enrollment is a great opportunity because you might even can go in as a sophomore into a college. However, if you're doing a different route, I may say AP is your better option. Both are great options, but which one is best for you is going to be determined by your plans after high school and that kind of thing. Now, we're going to get into this card and we're going to talk piece by piece by piece. So you should have this in front of you. Again, I don't want you writing on anything except for pencil, and it really is better if you just listen first and then you can go back and circle. But if you know something in particular, it's okay to circle as we go through. I will tell you, I always recommend that you fold it in half because you're going to be putting it in your backpack and it just keeps it a little bit neater. So the first thing that's on here is something that will be new for next year. Each student will have a class under college and career readiness. One is required per year, and that is going to be taken during that skinny block that I mentioned earlier. So it'll be about a 40-minute class, and it will run all year long, and it will be for a credit. In 10th grade, if you're going to be in 10th grade next year, you automatically circle the first one. 10th grade college and career readiness is going to be called connections. If you're going to be in 11th grade, college and career readiness is going to be ACT prep. If you're in 12th grade, college and career readiness will be transitions because we're getting ready to transition out of high school. So that's pretty easy. You choose either 10th, 11th, or 12th. The next section is also pretty easy. So we get to English. It tells us one is required per year. If I'm a 10th grade English student, then I'm either going to circle English 2 or Honors English 2. Those are your two choices. Now, I do want to just mention here, and this is for all classes, not just English. Sometimes students will take a standard level class in 9th grade, and then when they go to 10th grade, they take a standard level class. And for many, that's going to be the appropriate choice. But let's say you took a standard level class in 9th grade and you did really well. Like you had an A and it was a class that you really enjoyed and you think that you're ready for honors, that would be a great opportunity to move up. And so for the most part, when you're looking at this form, what's on the left are the standard level and what are on the right are the honors level. But just know, if I took English 1, but I think I can handle Honors English 2 and I've talked to my English 1 teacher about it, then it is okay to move up. Now, if you took an honors class and you want to move down, that's not always as easy. We're going to be looking at your grades and those kinds of things. You would only do that if that is the best choice for your academic ability. So we would look at that, and that's one of those you would need to talk with us about it. But it's always okay to move up if that's the best choice for you. 11th grade, you're either picking English 3, Honors English 3, or AP English 3. 12th grade, you're picking English 4, Honors English 4, Dual Enrollment English 4, or AP English 4. So you notice as you get older, there are a few more opportunities for English. I will notice some senior level English classes are determined by your ACT scores. And also notice that if you plan to attend Murray State, you would need both dual enrollment classes. So that's another situation where you would want to talk to the college because dual enrollment English 4, 1010 is here, 1020 is also on the card, but it's found over in the elective choice. So depending on where you're going to college, you're going to want to know what are they going to count for me as transferred in. Okay, our next section is math. Again, we have our standard level classes for the most part on the left and our honors level classes for the most part on the right. Now, there is something new on the card this year, so for our older students, this is a little bit different. You're going to mark, when did you have math this school year? Did I have math in the fall or did I have math in the spring? Because where you had it this year is where we're going to try to keep it next year. So when you sign up If you are taking geometry or algebra 2 next year, so this is mostly going to be 10th and 11th graders, you're going to notice two course codes that are listed on your sheet. One is going to have the course code and it's going to have an F at the end. That means that is the fall section. Or it's going to have an S at the end, and that means it's the spring section. When you go to do your registration online, which we'll talk about a little bit later, course selection online, you're going to put which section mirrors what you were in this year. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. When you get past Algebra 2, everybody has to have Algebra 1, everybody has to have geometry, everybody has to have Algebra 2. After that point, you have several choices. We have new classes over here this year. The state has changed some things, so Bridge Math is no longer a math class. Applied Math is no longer there. So Math Reasoning or Honors Math Reasoning, it's got some qualifiers there. Then we've got all kinds of dual enrollment, AP, etc. If you are planning on taking an upper level math class, you need to take your card by to your last math teacher. If you have math right now, take it to that math teacher. If you had math last semester, take it to that math teacher, and they need to sign off saying that they feel like this is the best math class for you. We just want to make sure you're choosing the right thing for you going into your next year. Okay? Remember, you can double up on math. Sometimes people forget that, but if you're going to go into an area, we have students who they know that their career choice is going to be heavy math. You can absolutely double up any year, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. Senior math can be determined by your ACT. And when in doubt, like if you come to me and say, what math class should I take? I just finished Algebra 2. That's one of those I'm going to say it depends. It depends on your math ability, your career choices, so feel free to talk to your math teachers anytime you have questions on that. Okay, our next area is pretty easy, social studies. So it tells us we are required to take world history, government, U.S. history, economics, and personal finance. So this box, these boxes take care of both social studies and personal finance. If you are coming into 10th grade and you did not take world history as a 9th grader, you need to take it as a 10th grader, so go ahead and circle that. If you are a current 9th grader, 10th grader, or 11th grader and you have not had government yet, you need to circle this class. Now it's a little bit different than last year. It will be a 1 credit class, but government and civics. So if you're doing course selection right now and you've not taken government and civics, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and take that next year. In 11th grade, you're going to take U.S. history. Your choices are standard U.S. history, dual enrollment U.S. history, or AP U.S. history. And then in 12th grade, you will take economics and personal finance, either at the standard level or at the honors level. Okay, now we're moving on to science. Science tells us 3 are required: biology, chemistry, plus 1 more. And the nice thing about science is we have lots of choices. And I will tell you, we have tons of people who graduate with more than 3 credits in science. But you have to take biology. If you did not take it at Grove this year and you're coming into 10th grade, you need to take it next year. Chemistry can be taken a variety of grade levels, but you'll take either regular or honors. And then physical science is taken, especially if you made a below a 70 in biology. If science is just not maybe a stronger area for you, you might consider taking physical science before taking chemistry. And then we have all other kinds of things: honors biology 2, honors chemistry 2, environmental science, AP biology, AP chem, AP physics, dual enrollment biology, AP environmental science, all kinds of science choices for you to take, but you do have to have 3. Okay? Our next area, so we have finished the front of the card, the first column. We're going to go over here to the next column. So the first talks about PE and wellness. Everybody, if you went to Grove, your PE credit should be taken care of, either through PE, football, band, color guard, basketball. Those classes take care of PE. If you have not had wellness yet, I would highly encourage you to take that next year. Most of that time that's taken as a 10th grade class. On occasion, it could be different. But if you've not taken it, I would encourage you to take that. If you are a basketball player or a football player, then you would mark those. If you're going to be a senior and you are a football player, you will only take one section of football, so you only count that as 1 credit. Even though it has a little asterisk, excuse me, even though it has the asterisk, if you're going to be a senior football player, you only take 1 credit. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Excuse me. Okay, next area on our chart is world language. World language, we currently will offer German and Spanish. You do have to have 2 credits in the same language. Foreign language is not required if you're going career ready, but if there's any chance of you going college, you need to take foreign language, because otherwise you will be in a deficit when you go to college. There are some dual enrollment world language classes you would need to consult. They're pretty tough, but we have students who can handle those. I would encourage you to talk to your world language teacher about those before signing up for those. And foreign language is an area that can be clept out of at times. So again, most of the time we're taking foreign language in 11th grade, but there are times we can get 10th graders in there. So you would sign up for Spanish 1 and 2 or German 1 and 2, either at the standard or the honors level. And then we do have some upper level classes as well with our foreign language. So you've got some options there. Our next area is fine art. One thing I'm very proud of is Henry County is just very embedded in fine arts, not only in our community, but also in our school systems. And so we have lots of offerings available. You're going to notice the left side for this is entry-level courses. So these are the courses that you can take without having a prerequisite class. The ones on the right are the ones that usually you're going to have to take something first before you're in those. So some entry-level courses are concert singers, music history, music theory, steel pan band. Well, some of you are going to go, what in the world is that? And I'm going to be real honest, I don't know exactly, but it's something that we're going to try next year. We're going to see if you're interested. Mr. Martin has said it's a great class for students who maybe you didn't take band when you were younger, and so you don't know how to read music, you don't know how to play an instrument, but you're interested in that. Steel pan band might be for you. So I would ask questions of him if you have questions, but it's basically an intro-level class for students who are interested in reading music, interested in playing an instrument, but have not had a chance to do that yet. So we're excited about that. Down in theater, we have LDC Speech and Communications. That's a fabulous class to help you feel more comfortable speaking. And we know it scares all of us to speak in front of people, but when you're going to college, you're going to have to do that. So why not start feeling a little bit more comfortable now? So it's a great class, and it actually helps you get an EPSO because that LDC lets you get an EPSO. We have Introduction to Theater. We have Art 1, which is an introduction to art, and we have LDC Art Appreciation. So those are our entry-level classes. Over here on the right, these are things that are a little bit more advanced. I'm going to go through those just because I'll have a note with a few of those. Bella Voce is a women's auditioned group. Auditions have not been held yet. So you're like, I don't know, I'm going to audition, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be in that. You can, it's okay to go ahead and circle, but you need to make a note. If I don't get in this, I would like this instead. Maybe you would want to take concert singers instead. You are going to be putting alternate choices on your card, but it's okay to make some notes on your card as well. It's okay to stick a sticky note on your card if you want to make some notes for us. Madrigals is also an auditioned group. Strings is available 9th through 12th grade. Band is going to be, you're going to notice a little bit of a difference here. You will either take band in the fall and band in the spring, or there's going to be band in the fall. So marching band will always be 4th block in the fall. But next year we're going to also have an advanced band class. So those of you who are in band, Mr. Martin is going to be talking to you about that. So you're going to need to hear from him. Do you sign up for band or band and advanced band? There's color guard, which is also a tryout. And then down in theater, we have technical theater, advanced acting and directing, musical theater and movement. We have visual art, Art 2, which works with paint and ceramics, Art 3, which works with concept design, AP art, you're gonna notice that's a 2-credit class, so it's all year. Dual enrollment art, and a new class for next year is textile arts. If you have questions about that, see Ms. DeHay or Ms. Hart, and they can give you some information. Now, our last section on the front page is about additional elective options. So everybody is going to graduate with electives. That's just part of it. You actually have to have some electives to graduate. And so these are some of those choices. And you'll notice it says several of these options could count toward a pathway credit. So some of the things that we offer for electives: African American Studies, Ancient History, Creative Writing, Driver's Training for 10th graders, Journalism and Yearbook, Principles of Office Applications, that's a new class for next year. Sociology, Honor Sociology, SDC Psychology, Tennessee History and Henry County History. So we're revamping that just a little bit to add some Henry County history in. Over on the right side, these are AP classes and dual enrollment classes. So these are all EPSOs. AP Human Geography, AP Psychology, dual enrollment English 1020. You have to have 1010 first, and that's up in the English section. Dual enrollment Music Appreciation, dual enrollment Psychology, that is only for 12th graders. Dual enrollment Sociology, dual enrollment Speech. And again, I noted earlier, if you have a dual enrollment class that you really want to take that we don't offer, talk to us about it. We can probably work it out. Same thing for AP, and you would just put that information on your card here. So I think I'm going to pass it off to Ms. McCord, so she's going to pick up here and give you some information about pathways.
Okay, on the back of your card, you're going to see all the pathways that we offer here in Henry County. When you think of a pathway, you're going to choose between two different options: career ready or college ready, and those are a little bit different. So if you choose career ready, you're going to need 6 elective classes in order. So that's 2 different pathways in order. And then if you choose college ready, you're going to take 3 different credits in one pathway: your foreign languages and your fine arts. So that's how the 6 get divided up there. There are approximately 21 different pathways to choose from, and each of those are listed on the back and in the order that you must take the classes. We've got ag engineering, agribusiness, audio visual production, automotive, coding and IT, cosmetology, health science, 2 different health science pathways, fine arts, graphic design, health and human performance, which would fall in under your sports, your football, your basketball, humanities, industrial maintenance, law enforcement, marketing, residential construction, social health services, STEM, teaching as a profession, veterinary science, and welding. So looking at some of those, you'll notice that in parentheses they may say Grove only. Talk to us about that, okay? So don't just count that pathway out. Talk to us, come to a counselor and see us. There's a little bit of difference in the sequence with health science pathways. A&P has been moved to the 3rd level course, but if you're in A&P right now, don't let that throw you off. Circle the one that you haven't had right in front of A&P, which will be either diagnostic medicine or medical therapeutics. So don't let that throw you off. You've got to make sure that you do these in order. You cannot take marketing 2 if you haven't had marketing 1. You can't go out of order with these. You can't take criminal justice 2 if you haven't had 1. Some pathways can be taken as standalone electives, but most do have to go in order. And they have those prerequisites that you have to take in order to do them. Now, if one of the things to notice, principles of manufacturing, some of our TCAT classes, if you're going into welding, you do have to take principles of manufacturing. So remember that. If you're a sophomore and you think you want to go into welding as a junior or a senior, you have to take principles of manufacturing as a sophomore before you can get into that class. Final notes: there may be courses offered that are not in this presentation. That all depends on numbers and how things lay out. If you're a senior and you have some room in your schedule, there are some possibilities that we have seniors that will fall under those. Peer tutoring, office assistant, guidance assistant, library assistant, tech assistant, all of those are things that if you're a senior and you've got room in your schedule and that's an interest of yours, you can circle those. Classes may or may not be grade level specific. Don't choose a class because of the teacher. So what we're doing right now is just getting numbers and seeing how many sections we need of a certain class. So if you take a class because you know Dr. David Webb is going to be teaching it, it might not be that way in the fall, and you might be disappointed. Make sure all of your graduation requirements are met before you choose those electives. Always list 2 alternate choices. So if you have circled boys basketball, and then after tryouts you don't make the team, what we're going to do is get that list of players, and if your name unfortunately is not on there, we're going to look at what you chose as an alternate, and that's what we will fill in for that. So it is very, very important to put an alternate. Otherwise, if you don't put an alternate and you didn't put a cell phone number, you're saying, I want Dr. Webb and Ms. McCord to decide what I want to take, and that sometimes is a dangerous game to play. So make sure that you put 2 alternates down there, that we've got some options. Feel free to put 3 alternates. However, sticky note, let us know what you're thinking, because this is all that we have to go on when we get ready to do these. Choose wisely. We cannot guarantee schedule changes. There will always be a time at the very beginning of each semester. It's a small window that you'll be allowed to make a change if it's a justifiable change. I don't like the teacher. That's never going to work for you. So make sure you're not picking those classes based off the teacher. And feel free to ask questions. We'll have lots of opportunities and lots of people for you to ask questions, so make sure if you have a question that you ask the question. Take home these selection cards and discuss it with your parents. So we're giving you some time to do that. Look at your transcripts, plan accordingly. If you choose to take more electives your freshman and sophomore year, your senior year when you're wanting to look at possibly some work-based learning or a class, a dual enrollment class or a TCAT class that takes up 2 classes, you may not have the room to do that if you've used all of your elective space your sophomore or junior year. So make sure that you plan accordingly. You can find your course history in your student view. So deadlines, that's important. Rising 11th and 12th graders. Have your homeroom teacher confirm your choices in the right-hand corner. They're going to need to initial that, saying that they've looked this over, they think it's right. Turn these in to your homeroom teacher no later than Monday, April the 8th. So that gives you an opportunity to take it home and discuss things with your parents. After your card is confirmed, your homeroom teacher will turn those in and submit those to us, and then you will actually submit your choices online, and we'll talk about that later. Now, by the end of the 11th, and that's ACT Day, by the end of the 11th, all choices must be entered online. Rising 10th graders, Mr. Mason will have those deadlines for you, so he'll communicate those with you. Make sure the guidance counselors and Dr. Webb and I will probably be in the cafeteria several days to answer any questions that you have. So ask questions. If you're at Grove, Ms. Green, Mr. Mason, Ms. James, all of those will be great resources for you to ask questions. Even email us and ask us those questions. And that's it. Thank you, and pick wisely.